Good morning. We are too many here, right? So we should make noise so that everyone is alerted and everyone paid attention what I'm going to speak and learn. So good morning, everyone, and myself, Dr. B.K. Rana. I'm chairing this conference, and on behalf of the organizers of this conference, I would like to welcome you all, despite a couple of hurdles you might have come across while traveling from your place to this place. But nonetheless, it is a remarkable journey for you that you have arrived here safely and timely. So thank you so much for your participation and your attendance this morning here in this conference. And as you can see, the topic itself is about smart hospitals, smart healthcare. What is smart healthcare? People say you are very smart, right? So now we are trying to say we have a smart healthcare. And precisely if I say you have a smart healthcare delivery system. And when I say system, it encompasses the facilities, it also includes the services, it also includes the entire ecosystem, which includes further human resources, basic infrastructures, which include equipment, and the people who drive all these things. And why we are here today to understand some of the basics and some of the advanced things which are going around the world. And we have a lot of speakers who are going to deliver on different topics. And there may be opportunity for all of us to learn from each other. And particularly those organizations who are smaller in size, but not in smaller in enthusiasm and a passion to learn. So what we're saying is here that the future belongs to smart healthcare organizations. Smart means you are efficient, you are effective, you are able to deliver services to the optimum level or which you think you should be providing. And under the theme of smart hospital, future is smart hospital, and there are 4 types of smarts. What are those? Smart build, smart operate, smart quality, and smart business. So it includes the entire ecosystem from the perspective of an organization to operate. And I think this is what is needed for you all and similarly other people who are not able to present today. And I think there are many who are present remotely because this is a hybrid mode because of the circumstances. There are speakers and participants attending through an electronic media connected through remote systems. So bigger hospitals, the corporate hospitals know the business perhaps. But what conference is trying to deliver is how we should be communicating with the smartly to smaller organizations because they form the maximum chunk of the healthcare delivery system, not the bigger one. Small nursing homes, diagnostic centers spread across the country. So how we can help and support them in their services so that they can efficiently operate as well as work effectively. So this conference brings speakers of repute, of high eminence, with years of experience. And when I say experience, is not experience by just reading, but delivering hands-on. By working at the bench side, in the hospital bedside, in the corridors, so they have contributed immensely to the system in India, and of course outside India as well. So this conference, once again, I would like to reiterate, brings people who think alike, and if they are not thinking alike by now, I hope that they would be thinking alike by the end of the conference. And I think that will be one of the achievement of this conference, that if we all together can come to a consensus, you may not need to write a white paper or a strategic paper, which corporate world used to do, or using it, but at least through minds, through topics of discussions, through deliberations, through exchange of ideas and views, we may have difference of opinion. That's good. We should have differences of opinion. Then only something different will emerge. But at the end, all these discussions should lead to something constructive. which can be used by yourself, which can be used by others out of the deliberations. So we bring people to you which comes from the background, they are doctor, they are architect, they are planner, they are designer, they are administrator, they are clinicians, professionals. So all conglomerate of these specialists here today and tomorrow as well. So thank you very much once again for your kind presence. I won't take much time because I'm here just to open it up, to set the tone, set the context of the conference, of the deliberation. But most importantly, what we expect out of you to get into the discussion, which leads to constructions. You would have an opportunity to ask questions. We'll have a panel discussions also, and that time also you can raise your questions. Don't hesitate in asking questions. I am the person who hesitates asking questions in many conferences, thinking that I may be asking a stupid question, what people will think. And I regret that of my thinking just after a few moments when someone who is renowned in the world asks the same question. And people clap, wow, what a question, what a question. And I regret why I have not asked this. So that's why I'm saying, don't hesitate. You may be thinking it is a stupid question, but that may be the most important and critical question anywhere in the world related to that topic. So please participate in that opportunity of asking questions, getting clarifications if you want, because it's a good opportunity for you all, for us all, to get that access to the experts, which people many times don't have. So I think that's another way I look at the conferences and seminars is an opportunity to get access to expertise, which otherwise you don't. So I think this is an opportunity for all of us to learn from each other, share your ideas and experiences and your expertise to make things better in your healthcare organizations, and at the end, provide the benefits to someone who expect it. And who is that someone? For whom we all working. Who is that? Can anybody tell me? Get a chocolate. Absolutely, absolutely, gentlemen. Kosal said it, the patient. We all are here in a healthcare system is for patient. Making patient journey in a healthcare facility smoother and safer. What he or she deserve for his or her care. So that's the ultimate beneficiary of all these deliberations, the patient. So patient safety, I would say, is what we expect out of care, not just care. You know, why I'm saying, when I speak to some of my friends, and we were discussing on the table, when cardiac surgeon comes out of the surgery and I ask, what is your success rate? 99%. Fantastic. I say, what about 1%? For you is just 99 and 1% is very good, but for that patient who comes under that category of 1% is 100%. He is not going to get another life. So why don't you try 100%? So that 1% is what we are looking for that who claims that he is the best in the world. Now you think everyone is not best in the world. So if the best in the world saying 99%, you think about down the line what may be the success rate. And in that success rate, how much gaps we have, which is leading to unsafe care to our patients. And I'm sure you all know 17th September. Do you know what is the importance of 17th September? In last 3 years, not before that, officially. What is the importance of 17th September? Yes? Patient Safety Day. Fantastic. Thank you very much, gentlemen. So September 17 is celebrated as World Patient Safety Day, when WHO has declared 17 September accepted by World Health Assembly 3 years ago. So 17 September this year theme was on medication safety, medication without harm. So when you as a doctor prescribe medicine, how you write is very important. Means what you think you're writing, the pharmacist should understand same to give the same medicine. And then the nurse or family member who is giving the medicine to the patient should be giving as is prescribed. because it is recognized as a fact based on evidences world over that maximum medical errors coming from medication errors. And medication errors happen at the prescription level, and then the second stage, dispensing, and the third and final stage, administration. So still you have 3 barriers to check. And that's why the third global patient safety challenge, medication without harm, is about know, check, ask. So doctor should know, check, and ask himself or herself what he is writing or she is writing. Check it. Ask patient if it is right or wrong. Same thing for the patient. Know, check, ask. Patient should know what medication he or she is taking. Check once before taking, and then ask if you don't understand. So know, check, ask is the theme for World Patient Safety Day this year, medication without harm. I'm telling all these things because this may sound silly, but these are important. Not paid much attention to. And I'm sure many hospitals will come forward and say, I don't have any medication error in my hospital. So if that is the case, why the maximum error in medical errors happening through the medication errors? Somewhere it is happening, right? We only give example of United States because they have evidence and the data. They say millions and billions dollars spent on this, because if medication errors happen, the patient will get longer stay in the hospital, more treatment, more medications, and more expenses, of course. So $billion, multiple $1 billion is spent on the follow-up of medication errors. So just before I invite the speakers for the conference to start the session, I just want to open up some questions, just to reiterate what I was talking about patient safety. And I said this year was Global Patient Safety Challenge, Medication Without Harm. This is the third Global Patient Safety Challenge by World Health Organization. Medication Without Harm, launched in 2019. Before that, 2 more global patient safety challenges were launched. Can anyone tell me what were those 2? You tell me, you get a chocolate, please. What was the first global patient safety challenge? Don't ask your friend Dr. Google. Dr. Google will give you, don't ask, because it's not going to help hospital, you or your patient. Only Dr. Google will get help, get more money by your search. So what was the first global patient safety challenge and what was the second one? Third, I already told you. And this is my favorite question in all conferences, whether it is make sense to the topic or doesn't make sense. What we talk about, safe surgery? We have anesthesiologist. Safe surgery, right? Safe surgery saves life. Use of checklist. Do you use WHO safe surgery checklist in your hospital while you perform surgery? The first one. The second, hand hygiene. Clean care, safe care. Why you ask hand hygiene? That was the one. So 2, and the third is medication safety. 3 global patient safety challenges so far. There are global safety challenges and then solutions I'm not going to talk about. But now you guys, please, at least each one of you 200 gram minimum chocolate. Maximum there is no limit, but the minimum is 200 gram chocolate. Each one of you please get by the lunchtime or by 4 o'clock. Or if you are coming tomorrow, you can bring tomorrow also. I can give that much extension of time to me. Okay? That's the deal. So that you will remember forever that yes, you didn't tell and you have to pay a chocolate. Am I right? I'm not getting any response. It's just a matter of 200 gram chocolate. One has gone, Arun is said, fantastic. More volunteers? Come on guys, I told you the most important thing for you and you are not able to shell out 200 gram of chocolate? Okay, I bring down to 100 gram. No, still no? Another volunteer, 2. That's all. I can take these 2 gentlemen for granted, 2 more. So 4. 1 there is also agreed, 5. 2 more they have agreed also, 6, 7. 3 there on also agreed, 10. 2 ladies here smiling, they agreed by smiling. And then 3 more with Arun by side. So all 17, and then 1, 18, and then 19. And there are 7 guys. Don't go, you are counted now, right? So you all counted. Now I have 26 people. So 26 chocolates, please bring to my table by tomorrow morning. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. With this, I stop myself speaking here. And now I move to the session, which is based on theme Smart Build, how you build smart healthcare facilities. And for that, to talk on how to create smart and sustainable hospital buildings, I would like to invite our first speaker, Mr. KOSALRAMAN CJ, who is Principal Architect and Managing Director of Infrabees Project Management Consultants Private Limited in Chennai. It reminds me that you didn't talk about yourself. So I'm Dr. B.K. Rana. I'm the CEO of Quality and Accreditation Institute QAI for last 5 years. And before that, I was the Director and CEO in charge of NABH, Quality Council of India, for 12 years. And before that, I was in NABL, which is the body for laboratory accreditation. In addition to these regular roles, I am also the expert of World Bank and WHO on quality and patient safety, and also help organizations and Ministry of Health across the world to set up their accreditation standards and the accreditation body in healthcare. And also, I'm also on the board of directors of International Society for Quality in Healthcare, ISFTH, which is the international organization delivering on digital health and telehealth issues. And I was also on the board of directors of International Society for Quality in Healthcare, ISQA, for a couple of years and chair their ISQA Accreditation Council. I'm also the founding elected member of International Council for Patient Safety, IPO in London, to discuss about patient safety issues and their rights and responsibilities in healthcare delivery system. So thank you very much for your participation. By now, I would like to now invite the speaker, Mr. KOSALRAMAN, who is successful in construction industry for the past 26 years and has extensively worked in the United States and India. In addition, he has also worked on large projects in UK, Africa, and China. His project type experiences are master planning, residential, education, commercial, hospitality, healthcare and corporate campus, and interior design. He has worked with leading international hotel operators worldwide and Asia's leading healthcare groups in India, getting involved right from the feasibility studies to concept of designing, documentation, project and construction management, construction administration, and project delivery has made him a multi-talented individual. He is a licensed architect in the United States of America and India. He is pursuing ways to build healthcare projects with precast prefabricated building components for a superior, faster, and economical approach to construction. You can see how much he has done, he has learned, and he has transferred his learning to practice. With this, I would like to invite KOSALRAMAN for his deliberation. Over to you, Kaushal. Thank you very much.
A very good morning. Thank you, Dr. Rana, for setting the tone. And you have so much of vast experience, and thank you so much. I think you have set the tone for the next couple of days of deliberations on various topics. And I take this opportunity to thank HOSPACS, Smart Hospitals, and QAI for giving me an opportunity to come and present my topic today. And I think there are 4 subtopics that's been the theme of this conference. And my topic here is falls under the smart build. So this is purely my perspective as an architect and how the building, basically our hospital could be a smart hospital. So particularly, for the small enterprises. So let me get started on this. Of course, my topic that I have been given is creating smart and sustainable hospitals. So as doctor promoters, I'm sure many of you will be working in tier 2 and tier 3, and you're trying to, have a challenge of how to set up your infrastructure by itself to start with. So there is basically a baseline, so somebody comes and starts a project and, and starts building it. So that itself is a humongous task that, and in India in particular, where you have to go through various stages, buying a land, arranging the funding and all those things, all put together. So that itself is a huge task. So first you start with the baseline, where you start to build a hospital. And I'm a big proponent or big fan of green projects, sustainable hospitals. So hospital being green is one of the best examples I could give of, because The builder is the doctor or promoter, and he's going to use the facility also. So he's going to be building the hospital, he's going to be using the hospital. So all the more it's very important for him to have a green hospital or a green building. Of course, this is a quick introduction, just a disclaimer on the images. It's only for reference purposes. So what you see right now is, hospital buildings, as you all know, are highly energy intensive infrastructure and have substantial impact on the environment, and its asset is heavy. You invest a lot of money, your hard-earned money, in these assets. It's also expensive to build, and it's one of the most expensive project types to build compared to any other project types. It could be a commercial, it could be a residential. So hospitals are most expensive, and of course, it generates tremendous waste. As you all know. So some of the challenges in building hospitals, and particularly the theme is right there, which says small hospitals. So these are some of the challenges which I feel, which I realized when I am discussing with a lot of doctors. One is the land is expensive. Number two, non-availability of quality manpower. That's kind of I think it's global. And number three is delayed service backup for critical equipment. Again, I'm talking purely from an architect's perspective. That's the topic as such. So. And particularly you'll be agreeing with me that any issues that you have in your hospital, when you call somebody, it takes time for them to come and attend to it and fix it for you actually. Number four is promoter and doctor is unaware of various engineering systems that's there in the hospital. So he's completely I know he invests a lot, but he's more into clinical excellence than in terms of engineering systems. And number five is effective utilization of resources, which includes manpower, machinery, and infrastructure. So, which four and five, I'll talk about that in a few minutes. Again, it's a collaborative approach. So, what we do as an architect typically, once we find a piece of land and we are about to build, we basically do a site planning, where the block sits or where the building sits, the parking, the access, everything. So, I'm just showing this to you so that you have an idea of what we architects do. Again, once we do that, then we do the blocking and stacking of which department goes where. We look at the departmental adjacencies, stacking and all those things. So this also involves the walking distances between various departments. So these are some of the stacking examples. So we definitely know which block or which department comes in which floor. And finally, we come up with the schematic level of drawings. This is the drawing board level. So the reason I'm showing this drawing is there are so many changes or ideas that can be implemented at the drawing board level. So it's very easy rather than building it and later coming back and including whatever you want, any other smart ideas that you want to include. So drawing at the drawing board level, you could, you can, sky is the limit. You can include all the features that you want in creating your smart hospitals. So last week I was in a conference and I was just going through some of the cost, what would be the cost of building a hospital, a 150 bed hospital, roughly. This is my rough calculation based on that. And if you see a lot of these equipments that you're paying for example, item number 2, 3 and 4, which is electrical, plumbing, air conditioning, firefighting, all these things are like huge numbers actually. So you're investing all these hard-earned money in all these infrastructure in place, hoping it'll work for you better in future. If in fact all these are smart, these are all smart equipments that you're already investing, but what you're not doing is making use of those smart equipments. That's what is happening. So for example, if you look at the security, the data, the computers, all of them are have become smart. They have become latest technologies there. So definitely you can make use of all of them. So if you look at it, it's almost about 40-45 crores to build a 150 bed hospital in a tier 2 or tier 3 town. Just the infrastructure alone. Imagine, I just put together some rough numbers for the medical equipment, though I might be a little off on that, but it just gives you a general idea, including GST and all those things, it comes to about 70 crores. Just a small example actually for you to just understand. So why green hospitals? So there are a lot of cost benefits. So as I mentioned to you earlier, the first is the benchmark, you just build a basic building, but I highly urge the doctors and the promoters to go for green building because of all these benefits. One is the cost benefit, the other one is a public image, of course, Then it reduces your operational expenses, which is pretty high in hospitals, in most of the hospitals. So there is also the consumption of energy, low energy and water consumption. Today, if you see, there is a lot of water problems all over the country, so it's becoming a very hot commodity. Of course, being a green building, it increases productivity and well-being. It eliminates the sick building syndrome, any nosocomial infection or any sick building syndrome. So you enter the hospital for one ailment, but once you stay there for a couple of days and you come out, you have a different ailment completely, which is not even related to that actually. So, and of course, it reduces stress level in user group because green buildings always have fresh air, is have a lot of daylight inside. So here right now it's a closed room here. If you have a daylight, if you can see through a window, so you feel much better. The humans feel much better. Added benefits, better indoor quality, energy savings. The Indian Green Building Council estimates about 40% of energy saving and 40% of water saving. That's a huge actually, and of course good daylighting and faster patient recovery. The average length of stay can be reduced. And of course, finally, it's come to the bottom line, it's a revenue, and your EBITDA, so that helps. So some of the design fundamentals, as I mentioned to you, it's a very simple tool that architects use, so just like building orientation, very, very simple, I'm sure many of the traditional homes in Kerala, they have, all these incorporated already. So, temperature control, daylight, ventilation, everything is there in our traditional architecture. So similar to that, we have all these things where, lighting is there, HVAC, water conservation, acoustics works as a major item, energy modeling, and integrated building management system. That BMS stands for Building Management System, and that is a very, very important thing. It basically helps you in automation. So, of course, commissioning, operational maintenance, and measurement and verification. So the last 3 items is what I always recommend when you're completing a project. So I'm going through this so that you understand, what it takes to make a green building. To go to the to surpass the green building, only you can do this. You have to do this first to get to the next level, which is the smart building actually. So in my opinion, IGBC, Indian Green Building Council, gives you certain ratings. The more credits you get, the more points you get, of course. And we also use something called Building Information Modeling, BIM, to include this. I'm showing this because this all has a lot of bearing on my points or slides that I'm going to share later in my presentation. So Building Information Modeling is the latest trend in India and also world over, where they build a virtual building of your project actually. And where architects, engineers, contractors, everybody work with the same model, including facility management actually. Future down the line, a facility management, as if you want to maintain your facility, this model is actually a software model that helps you in maintaining and having accurate data on your project or on your hospital. So we also use it for clash detection at the site level, construction level itself, so that you reduce the waste, so it becomes green. So as you can see, in any of the hospitals, energy intensive. So you have complicated HVAC systems like this, which is centralized. We also have some fresh air supply that comes through. We also have, water efficient faucets and aerators, to save water. If you add a sensor to it, it becomes smart. As simple as that, So as you put your hand inside, if not, it's just a green building only. This specific faucet helps you in saving water. And if you just add a sensor to it, it becomes pretty smart. It's a small item, to this design. Of course, we have LED lights, which is also energy efficient, which is also a green product. Of course, we have photovoltaic cells, all these things will help you. And of course, as I mentioned to you, the building management system. So in a green sustainable hospital, there is a building management system that helps you and integrate all these things put together. The video surveillance, water access, everything can be accessed at the touch of a button. Right now we have all smartphones, and we can easily access them, using a smartphone and apps and stuff like that. Of course, with our AI, biometric and facial recognition, so many automation has taken place in green buildings today actually. And particularly for tier 2 and tier 3, small hospitals or medium hospitals, where the manpower, getting the right manpower is very difficult. Automating it is really very, very helpful for the promoters and the doctors. Smart hospitals of the future. So why it's called the future? Because there is a key word called resilience. So what is resilience? Post-pandemic, we understand, everybody got hit, we fell down, and we just got back up and, started operating again. So resilience states the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. So God knows, what other problems we are going to face in future. So resilience is a key word, I would say here. So hospitals are searching for ways to improve the productivity and efficiency. And in my perception, the smart hospitals are digitally connected, energy efficient, and optimized to promote health and well-being actually. So these are the various features of a smart hospital. So you basically, since you're already doing a green hospital, it's one step extra that you take to make your hospital smart. As simple as that. As an architect, this is what I feel. From an infrastructure standpoint, green buildings is the best for hospitals. Doctors, it's benefits for them. And you take one extra step, it makes it more smart. So everybody knows about home automation. There is a in home you have a simple automation which connects your AC, your lighting, your fans, even your kitchen. Everything has been connected well. So with simple devices, you just have a connection device that connects a building automation system. Same thing can be applied to the hospitals also. So all these equipments have Bluetooth connectivity, and interestingly, they all talk to each other actually. So if you remember the budget I showed you, so where you invest so much money on all your equipments, I'm purely talking on the infrastructure side, not on the medical equipment side. I'm purely talking on the infrastructure side, where your electrical systems, plumbing systems, your AC systems, all are intelligent piece of equipment. And if you all connect it together, they all can talk to each other. So when they all can talk to each other, there is a lot of data that you can get from them actually. So data is the king here. So you get a lot of data from them, and you can actually manage them with your, just your smartphone or a smart device. Again, the smart hospitals, what they do, they have seamless integration across the infrastructure. So whether it's electrical lighting or plumbing or AC, all connected seamlessly. And of course, with the advent of artificial intelligence, IoT, and 5G networks. By the way, Airtel is coming up with 5G networks in the next 1 year, 1.5 years actually. So a lot of things can happen, a lot of things can change. So if you look at on the right side, there is a handheld device, and they can connect all these rooms, together actually. It's so easy to connect. Only thing is you need to have the data and what is your plan of action. Of course, smart hospitals, it optimizes, redesigns, and transforms clinical processes. And of course, digitization and integration of healthcare assets. Healthcare assets, again, little bit on the medical equipment side, you invest heavily on the medical equipments. Sometimes you don't know where exactly that equipment is. Either it's walked away or somebody stole it or it's misplaced, we don't know. Again, we also have wearable devices. Everybody is having a smart watch right now. It's fashionable now. And we have mobile internet, everything is there, which helps you in connecting all these intelligent piece of equipments together. Finally, what do you want? You want to optimize the cost and energy efficiency so that you can run your hospital profitably. Again, these are various techs that's available, connecting, at once the patient arrives into the hospital at the OPD level, then at the IPD level, at the OTs and all those areas, there's a lot of interventions that you can do and make your system smarter actually. So this is not only within the building, this is also outside the building. Once you go outside the building, there is, you could have the smart hospital concept in retail clinics, home visits, home care, telehealth, and all those things. And one of the hospitals I'm designing, we're having automated kiosks also, where patients can come in and register themselves and go to the right doctor and have an appointment online. Everything is automated. So when these large crowds can be, reduced by digitizing, same thing can be done with the hospital also. So tracking assets, if you look at it, tracking assets, very, very important, as I said. And, there are a lot of improvement that's happening in AR and VR, which is virtual reality and augmented reality, that's happening. Of course, everybody has, and the other day I was very much surprised to see, I just Googled my home address and I was trying to send the link to somebody. And I saw my own house as an image there, which I'm clear I did not take it. So this is in Google. So when you Google your home address, there will be a picture of your home right there actually. So I don't know who put it. The reason I'm sharing that is, when Google can do that at a city wide, the same thing can be done, in a hospital also. The hospital can be, documented in such a way that, patient wants to go to different floors, they can look at their mobile phones and, track their location to their room actually. Of course, there is a lot of RFIDs, everybody has a tag, and these can be done at various departments. And this is one example of a company that I'm showing you here as a sample. Similar, e-pharmacy So here is what, at the infrastructure level, what it suggests is, you place a scanner, a Bluetooth scanner in each of these departments or rooms. There is an asset tracker and there is a people tracker. So sometimes, I'm sure you are experienced with that, when you are trying to look for a staff, he's not there. So he'll be saying, I was here, no, I was there, that itself is a difficult, HR issue to deal with. So if you have a people tracker, definitely you can track them, that is one. And number two, they'll also be on toes, making sure that, that the doctors and everybody is watching them and they will be following their duties. So from a infrastructure standpoint, the staff, smart hospitals, help in staff productivity, Of course, we talked about energy, efficiency, and resilience. Of course, the patient experience, improve patient outcomes. There is if the patient is able to control the temperature, is able to control the light coming into his or her room, so they feel much comfortable. They'll be at ease. There is no anxiety, so that really helps them actually. So space utilization. So a lot of time, many of the doctor promoters, they say, I need this room X, Y, Z. I need 3 of them here, 4 of them there. So most of the time, these rooms are underutilized. So how do you track them? So you can't go and check visually. So if you put a tracking device, you can find out how many people have visited or used that room, for how long and for how many days. So this way, you can schedule that room for something else or some other purpose also. This way you don't have to build extra rooms. So this way, you can maximize your space right there. Of course, regulations are there, so you can plug in your regulations into the system, making sure there could be human errors. So to some extent, you can avoid that also. Particularly in operating rooms, specific for doctors, how do you know the temperature is right there? Have they done all the fumigation, everything? What else have they done? Have they done their cleaning? If the lights are on, if the temperature is on, if the pressure is on? So unless and until somebody has to have, if they have something as a tab in front of them, and it's very easy, it's basically a dashboard. If they have that, just like how you're having your smartphone. So if you have it in front of you, it's easy graphics, easy to remember. So that really helps out, for a doctor or a operator. So patient room, same thing I discussed with you before. And of course, some of the examples that the smart features can be incorporated is pressurized room. Is the isolation room properly isolated? Is the pressure inside is maintained? So this can be as a dashboard also. Of course, lab is also another place where you can incorporate this. So when I showed you drawing, so all these can be incorporated at the drawing stage itself. So it's very, very important because there are a lot of data cable that's going to run all over the place. Of course, at the end of the day, you get a dashboard which says, what is the percentage of this, percentage of that, what is the improvement, what is the issues. So a doctor gets a dashboard, something like this. It's just an example I'm showing you. So it's very clearly, helps you understand where you are and utilize all your assets. So with that, this is my final slide. So even in construction also, there is so much of technology that's happening, so much of smart systems are being used. If you look at the guy on the left side, bottom, he's using a smart device actually. So to track all what's happening on site. So this is what is happening. And I also want to show you a video. It's a video of a product. Of course, I don't endorse the product. I'm just showing you so that you understand how smart hospital works.
The world is changing, and healthcare facilities are juggling the need to meet new demands. First, the world's population is both growing and aging. The number of people over the age of 60 will nearly double by the year 2050, which will also increase the number of people that need healthcare services. Innovative solutions are needed to better handle the coming influx of patients. Second, patient satisfaction is now a top 5 concern for more than 50% of healthcare executives. Hospitals which succeed in improving the patient experience will also likely see improved patient outcomes. Third, safety is paramount in a healthcare setting where lives are at stake. Lives depend on reliable power and real-time access to health records. A power outage can lead to unexpected costs, negative media attention, and even patient injury or death. Hospitals that protect their people and property will benefit from greater peace of mind. Leveraging IoT to meet these demands is becoming standard practice. By 2019, It is estimated that 87% of healthcare organizations will have adopted IoT technology. Hospitals that are at the forefront of IoT adoption will be seen as world-class providers and will set the stage for the future of modern healthcare. With EcoStructure for Healthcare, our IoT-enabled digital hospital architecture, Schneider Electric, delivers improved safety, patient satisfaction, and operational efficiency. Using real-time data about your healthcare facility's critical infrastructure, EcoStructure for Healthcare delivers the right information to the right person, anytime, anywhere. How do we do this? Let me tell you a story about Mrs. Chan, who is admitted to the hospital for a scheduled C-section birth. We will see how EcoStructure for Healthcare is used throughout her patient journey, from admission to the operating theater, back to her room, and finally discharge. We'll highlight the intelligent interaction between connected devices and our edge control software to improve operational efficiency through reduced energy consumption, safety through reliable power, and patient satisfaction through a patient-controlled mobile app and noise monitoring. When Mrs. Chan arrives at the hospital, she is registered as an inpatient and assigned to room 201 for the duration of her stay. Room 201 is now in an occupied mode, and the building management system reacts accordingly to ensure a comfortable environment. The temperature begins to increase. Lights are turned on, ventilation adjusts, and blinds are open. Mrs. Chan is taken to her room. She uses a mobile app on her tablet to make herself more comfortable. She raises the temperature a couple degrees and closes the blinds so that she can change into her hospital gown. Mrs. Chan's scheduled time for her C-section is quickly approaching. She is transferred to pre-op, and her patient room is now in setback mode. The lights are turned off, and the temperature is relaxed. The airflow set points remain unchanged in case she arrives back unexpected. Meanwhile, the surgical team schedules Operating Suite 101 for Mrs. Chan's C-section. The room now changes to a preparation mode. During this mode, the BMS checks to ensure the OR is safe to use. The electrical and medical gas systems are checked, as well as the ventilation and environmental conditions to make sure they are working correctly. Once the safety checks have been carried out, the OR is now classified as occupied. Because an operating room is a highly critical environment, a power outage or electrical shock can be disastrous for a patient who is in surgery. Unfortunately, during Mrs. Chan's C-section, there is an unexpected failure with the electrical supply to the hospital. The facility's maintenance team is immediately notified via alerts on their mobile devices. They access their power monitoring system and see that the automated transfer switch has successfully switched the power to the backup supply. The hospital's power status returns to normal. The surgical team can see that the electrical problem has been resolved and no other issues remain. The surgeon safely completes the surgery, and Mrs. Chan gives birth to a baby girl. Mrs. Chan is back in room 201. The next day, her family arrives to see the new addition to the family. She tells them that she didn't sleep well during the night because it was too noisy. The family is concerned and calls the nurse to investigate. The nurse checks her dashboard and sees that the average noise in room 201 is above the recommended 30 decibels at night. A few days later, Mrs. Chan and her daughter are doing well, and they are discharged from the hospital. The room status is changed to housekeeping mode, and the room is prepared for the next patient. Throughout Mrs. Chan's entire patient journey, EcoStructure for Healthcare was there to ensure she had access to a safe, pleasant, and healing environment.
Thank you. That's my end of the presentation. Thank you very much.